Welcome to episode 291 of Unlock, the world's #1 Xbox show. Coming up on this week's episode, not a lot of stories, but they're all big ones. So we've got some Halo 6 news, 343 owning up to some of Halo 5's flaws. We're going to talk all about the statement that they gave about that. Call of Duty World War II is announced, proving the leaks and rumors to be quite correct, and we had one of our Unlocked crew members there to tell us all about it. Forza Horizon 3 somehow found a way to just get better. I wasn't sure how that's possible, but they have found a way. You're going to want to hear about this and a whole bunch more. I'm back from vacation. It's nice to be away and not.
Thank you for coming back.
Welcome back, Ryan.
Thanks. It was good to not think about work at all, or video games at all either. I just kind of avoided everything and hid my phone in the hotel room for most of the time. It's good to unplug from time to time.
You went to Hawaii, right?
I did. I was very fortunate to get to go to Hawaii, and it was a very. Of course, it meant I couldn't review Full Throttle Remastered, one of my all-time favorite games, but at least I've got it. I can, now that I'm home, I'm going to start playing that, and then. New Walking Dead episode.
Yeah.
Telltale came out while I was gone. So anyway, it's always nice. The new Mystery Science Theater came out while I was gone. I watched some of that.
Leave more often. We got all sorts
Apparently,
of
it's just like just treats start raining from the sky when I'm not around. But all right, so we'll start with what I think is the biggest news story of the week. No, not Call of Duty. For Unlocked fans, listeners, and watchers of this show, it's Halo 6. Not straight up confirmed or announced, but we all know it's coming. But what 343 did acknowledge, they finally acknowledged.
Yeah, they did.
At least the fact that, hey, the story wasn't so great or perfect in Halo 5, or at least an aspect of it.
Turns out people like Master Chief.
Like Master Chief.
Yeah.
Yes. So we've swapped in through the power of magic and editing. Sean Finnegan, Halo super fan.
Hello, everyone.
Super player.
Thanks for having me.
We're all major.
Except Marty,
Halo
he
fans
hates Halo.
Yeah, he was.
That's why he disappeared.
He actually was fired. He's
For hating Halo so much, yeah.
Working here as of this, but Frank O'Connor, the franchise development director, he spoke to Games TM magazine over in Europe, and this is a really interesting. I'm just going to read you the whole quote, and then maybe we'll stop and talk about it as we go. But it was interesting to hear him open up about this a little bit. He said, "We took some digs for storytelling in Halo 5, but they were absolutely merited. We very much realized that people wanted Master Chief's story of Halo 5.
Did we just get sub-quoted there? Like, is he talking about us?
He's talking about everybody. It's not just us.
Classic IGN.
We definitely marketed in a way that we hoped was going to bring surprise." Okay, Frank, I'm going to call some BS on that one. No, you didn't. Surprise.
Surprise, it's nothing like the way we marketed it.
Marketing was awesome, and the story wasn't. But for some fans, and certainly fans of Master Chief, it was a huge disappointment because they wanted more Chief. Remember, Master Chief, if you recall, was
Blue team.
20%.
I think that's also just kind of playing it safe. There were plenty of other seemingly pacing problems in that game, aside from just the fact that Chief wasn't in it.
Totally.
Of course, but we're just going with what 343 is owning up to here so far.
True.
So Frank continuing saying, they, meaning fans loved Blue Team, they liked Osiris, but they wanted Chief. The emphasis is mine there, by the way. But they wanted Chief, and that has been a big learning. Chief, we tend to think of as kind of a vessel for your adventure rather than necessarily this major character in the universe. He's really just your entry into the universe. But people have become attached to him over the last 15 years, and they've started to sort of fill in the gaps that the character deliberately has for gameplay reasons with a genuine emotional attachment. We certainly underestimated that with Halo 5, which that's interesting to me, guys, because Halo 4 was of all the mainline Halo games, Halo 4 was the most personal Master Chief story.
Yeah, him and Cortana.
They
that's the
343 made. Yeah. And I loved it. I stand by my review, and the reasons people tend not to like Halo 4 was more for multiplayer, I think, than anything else. But yeah, it's odd. That's sort of an odd statement considering.
Yeah, he's saying we're filling in the gaps, and yet Halo 4's narrative was all about that relationship. So it's like, no, you guys totally did that in 4.
But before that, I think he's right anyway. Like, for 1, 2, and 3, I've become super attached to Chief as a character, but if they were like, well, he isn't really much of a character in 1 and 2, I wouldn't argue with it. But I liked him so much because of what I turned him into. But then, of course, they have the books, they have the comics. There's a ton of expanded lore where I feel like I know who John is, like, to some extent.
I started to like Chief after I read the first book.
Yeah.
I mean, he nailed it with the vessel comment. Like, Master Chief is me when I play those games. He is this conduit for you to experience the story, and how you play him is the character. So, like, people grow very attached to that because it's them in the games. And I think when you move away from that, there's an opportunity to do something cool. Like, I would never blatantly, as a creative person, write off the ability to integrate a different character. Like Locke. It's just the way that he was implemented and the story that surrounded him. Like we mentioned, that the marketing kind of hinted at this great conspiracy that, and
this face-off.
That like
this bad scene.
Yeah, and like Oni, if you're familiar with the lore, is like the UNSC's like internal intelligence operative. So they're kind of
the FBI.
Or the CIA.
And they're kind of these shady sort of behind the scenes characters who have great intelligence, great power, and wield great influence. And here's one of their best and brightest going after a legend chief. That sounds awesome. And then that turns out not really to be what happens in the game.
He's bad. I guess he's not.
It's not. It's kind of just the implementation of that, because we all saw the opportunity for it to be awesome, like we pointed out in the trailers, and also the whole Hunt the Truth podcast.
That was so good.
All of that was so awesome, and then it just didn't. The setup was great. It just didn't get paid off.
And Locke was written poorly.
There's also a bunch of weird stuff that happened with Locke. Like, he's the main character in Nightfall, which I'm going to be honest, guys.
It was terrible.
Not good.
It's awful.
And then Mike Coulter bailed on that, and then ended up not even voicing the main character so that he could be Luke Cage. Totally fine with that. I mean, you're going to be a Marvel superhero? Okay, go for it. But like, there was just a little bit of weirdness leading up to it, and it kind of showed in the game. And
I think that's probably because there were changes. Like, I think probably what was marketed might have been what they initially wanted, and then it just didn't turn out that way.
Yeah, I would love to, if there's ever a book that'll get written about Halo 5's development, because I feel like I agree. I feel like there's got to be something else there.
Yeah.
Totally.
That went on.
Because, like, I compare it, I get the same from the marketing materials and this, again, the opportunity to do what they didn't end up doing in Halo 5. It's a lot like what other people did in Mass Effect, where, like, you come in as the new guy on the block, the first human Spectre, and you're tasked with hunting down Saren, the rogue, greatest Spectre that the galaxy's ever known.
Good parallel.
Yeah, and like that is what they could have done with Locke. Locke is coming in, you're tasked with hunting down a legend, but you're also kind of this hotshot guy within Oni, but you have to go after the chief.
Kind of like the new Star Wars game where you play as the villain, basically.
Yeah, like imagine if you were...
A new perspective.
Yeah, imagine if you were tasked with taking on this new perspective, and you as the player, as a fan, like, you know the history of what Chief has done, so in your head he's a hero, but you're forced to kind of unravel the mystery and fight your own preconceptions about what has happened as Locke. That all leads up to this grand finale.
That's what they made it sound like it was going to be.
That's what they made it sound like it was going to be, and then it wasn't.
Or if they have you play from both perspectives. They obviously did that with Halo 2, and I love the Arbiter.
Totally.
Like, there were problems with that game in terms of narrative, but I love that story.
So I totally get what Frank's saying, and I get what the fans are saying, which is like, we want more Chief. I want more Chief too. But I would also say that, like, it's not just a Locke thing. Like, there was an opportunity to do something cool with Locke, it just didn't get executed right.
There's great members on Team Osiris, though. Nathan Fillion's awesome.
Totally. Buck, who was always a Spartan in our hearts, let's be real.
Well, and Blue Team, if you had read the books.
It's so great to see them all.
If you read the books, or at least the first couple of books, which is where Blue Team really is most heavily featured, which I had, it was like, cool, I'm going to hear more about Kelly, Linda, and Fred. And then the game disappoints you when you get nothing from them. And then if you haven't read the books and you play Halo 5, you're still disappointed because you're like, wait,
who are these people?
Who are these people? You've been telling me for 4 games that Chief's the last guy, the last Spartan 2. What? So it was just, the way it was handled was just so odd.
And that's kind of another thing. It's just like, if you were a fan of the series or the books and the lore going up to Halo 5, like, you kind of had this high expectation for, like, oh man, we're going to meet the team, like the Legends team.
Yes. Yeah.
Who are these people going to be? How
like the
awesome
Dream
are they
Team.
going to be? Yeah. And then none of that really. They're just generic Spartans, kind of.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's just a missed opportunity.
So, all right, more from Frank here. He continued. The effect that the character has, meaning Master Chief, on his surroundings and the, quote, fate of the galaxy has had a resonant effect on fans over the years. It wasn't that surprising to me, but the volume of "give us more Chief" at the end of Halo 5 was significant, and so I think, if anything, he's slightly more important now than he's ever been, certainly to our franchise. Instead of focusing on bringing new characters into the world and expanding the playable characters, we've sort of shifted the focus a little bit to making the world a little bit more realistic and compelling, and I would say more fun for players who get to inhabit the Chief in the future pretty much as they demanded.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. There's always a call and response element to shipping a game. You have to ship improvements, you have to ship tweaks, and you have to ship changes. And sometimes you have to walk some of those back.
I don't want them to be afraid to introduce new characters, though.
Yeah.
No, and I don't think that's necessarily what he's saying, but I think he's saying, okay, you'll be playing as Master Chief for the, if not bulk of, the entire duration of Halo 6's campaign. So,
Except Locke. I find most of the characters in Osiris interesting. I just really don't like Locke. As I've made clear.
He finishes by saying, doubling down on Master Chief's story and the amount of focus on him was probably the easiest learning from Halo 5. That was a really simple thing to absorb and embrace. So, Destin, I know you've had a vision for how Halo 6 will open.
Okay, so
Oh my.
Locke gets assassinated, and that is the driving force for Team Osiris to join Blue Team. They're the new kids, and Chief takes them under their wing, so to speak.
So now we have a team of like 7 Spartans?
Yep, but we only play as the Blue Team. Osiris is just kind of there, doing whatever.
This is why you're a Destiny.
But I would like to have more Osiris, like, for sure. Like, that's a really fascinating, like, squad, basically. And
Dude, yeah, like, again, we talk about Buck. Buck is awesome. I'm forgetting the other people's names, but like,
what is that?
Laura
female
Bailey,
lead's
Laura Bailey
relationship with her
voices-
father is touched on in there. I found that really interesting.
Vicky was one of them, right? Vale. That's what it's called.
it.
like how you
called-
said Vicky, like Batman.
Batman's
Vicky Vale.
That's why
Vale
I
interest.
Vicky Vale. Yeah, it's Vale, Spartan Vale though, and then I forget the other. I forget their names, but
Tanaka, right?
Tanaka. That's the
yeah.
other one. Yeah, I mean Buck is really the one in my heart there.
There's some cool lore with those other characters.
To be fair,
Could be, again,
we
there's a
already
great opportunity to do really awesome things with new characters. And like I said, I totally get where fans are at. I'm one of those fans who's like, I am the Chief. I want more Chief. But that doesn't mean I only want Chief.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity to do great things with more characters and expand the lore. Look at what Mass Effect did from Mass Effect 1 to 2, right? Mass Effect 2, in many people's hearts, is the best one of the series because those side characters like Thane and stuff are so awesome. And their stories, while they make a small part of the main mission in Mass Effect 2, like the main sort of story, are like the most interesting parts of that game. And there's an opportunity to do that with Halo 6. But as long as that core story focuses on, you know, the relationship between Master Chief and Cortana now that she's gone rogue, which we all talked about at length. I thought that was a dumb
gonna bring her
decision
back.
story-wise. Just like after how personal Halo 4 was, there, like, you really experience, Chief doesn't change so much as a character, he doesn't have an arc. You experience the gravity of the situation and the personalness, the intimacy of their relationship through Cortana. Like, she's really this mirror for you to experience that story and to identify with the situation. And then she goes totally insane in Halo 5 and wants to wipe out the whole race of people that she swore to protect. The reason she chose Chief was so that she could protect humanity and do her job. And now she's gone crazy. Yeah, I mean, I get it, rampancy, right? But that's not...
I think that there's some inconsistency there, but I also find that arc interesting.
Like
Cortana
rampancy
arc?
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
I really
the
like
whole
it
dealing with
because
her own mortality thing is awesome. Again, it's just an implementation thing. Like how it was done
Sure.
wasn't great.
I like it because from Chief's perspective, he's going to have to come to grips with the fact that Cortana's gone. It's similar to the story tones that the main character is dealing with in a weird correlation, you guys, but follow me. In Firewatch, the man has to deal with the fact that his wife is gone, and he meets new people and interacts with them in the way that he chooses. I think Chief is going to have to come to grips with the fact that the Cortana you knew, she's not there anymore. She died in 4. She's gone.
And she's all he's had for years, if not decades.
I can imagine it being...
Well, I guess not decades, because it's, 7 years
been
till
partners since
rampancy.
1.
But, like, yes, over the course of... I guess
Better
the
part
equivalent
of a
like,
decade.
Yes, thank you.
And I can imagine it being like losing the ability to like have your own voice inside of your head. Like losing Cortana, like especially after having her for that long, would be really hard. But I also don't think that they will actually delve into Chief's emotions regarding that much, because that wouldn't be...
They kind of did in 5, though.
I don't think they'll do it.
How it affected him.
more, You know,
I mean,
He's like, no, we have to save Cortana. We have to. And
obviously
he's
cares
almost
about it.
holding on to those strings.
it's in a way.
You got to let him go.
A lot of fans think that he loves her or that she loves him, and I don't know if I'd go that far because he's such a reserved and sort of stoic character.
It's a platonic.
Yeah, it's like a. I mean, there are definitely. I would not be able to fight anyone who read that last scene in Halo 4 as anything but love between them. But at the same time, he's so stoic and heroic and like committed to the betterment of humanity and saving all people that it might be something born out of duty and sense of friendship that he has to go after her and save her from what he knows
companionship,
is
I think.
insanity.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally, it is.
She's been like his best friend.
But like that's kind of what I
since
wish
met.
they delved into is like
Yeah.
Halo 5 doesn't get at the heart of that. It's more like she's insane. She wants to kill everyone. I have to stop her and try and bring her back. And aside from him being like, this is crazy. He doesn't say those words, but he's like, this is
crazy,
You have
man.
to stop this.
Oh,
He doesn't really get into
This
it.
is crazy.
oh man,
This is crazy, bruh.
I'm really bad. I've said this many times.
Dude, it's
going on with Cortana?
Lean on me for impressions. But like, if Halo 6 can get at that, then we might have a redeemed Halo Master Chief story. That's what I'm hoping
Yeah.
for.
Cortana.
I still
We gotta go.
This is crazy, Cortana.
bro, we gotta hit the surf, man. It's like the galaxy is. There's some fresh Narnar out there. We need to just hit that. It's just now or never.
The Covenant, man.
John 117, what up?
Oh my goodness.
More like John 420, am I right? Okay. I still don't know. Okay, so yeah, we know that they're gonna focus more on Chief in 6. I still don't know how you clean up the narrative mess that is Halo 5 and where
I say it jokingly.
left off.
Because
I
where
do
are we
think they'll
at?
kill off Locke.
She's so
I mean, it's time. If you haven't finished Halo 5, fast forward because it's been a year and a
You
half.
should. The
yeah, like
campaign.
where we're at right now is Locke has come back with Master Chief has come back with Locke to Oni to UNSC to like answer for his like actions. Cortana has gone into Rambancy and co-opted the Forerunner
Guardians.
tech. Yeah, the Guardians. So now she might have transcended
has a
her
ring.
own. Yeah.
Yes, that's-
she might have transcended her own sort of. She might have gone past the Rampancy part. Like Rampancy is supposed to, at least in AI, like
They like fixed
eventually
her.
crumble them. Yeah, like it
fixed
might
her.
have. She might have
was rampant in
ascended a level.
4.
She's Super
but then
Saiyan now.
died or whatever.
Super Saiyan now?
Yeah.
She's unaffected by the limitations of
I said this.
Saiyan 4.
I said this before. I do think with the ring hinted, another Halo ring hinted at. I think we're gonna get Flood. I think we'll get all.
Oh man,
Because I think it's time for the Flood to come back from a play perspective. I think we'll see Promethean's
what's he
Flood
called?
Covenant,
The Overmind coming back.
Gravemind,
Man.
The Gravemind. There you go. What's the Overmind?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horrors, man.
But anyway,
That's all I see when I see Gravemind.
narratively, I still don't know how they paint themselves out of the corner they've painted themselves into, and
Maybe they kind of just avoid it as much as they can.
Oh, I would hope.
know. I mean,
not.
they-
I feel
they
like you got
can't-
to explain.
so
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Osiris. Go
But
back to
having
filing
explain something
paperwork.
that you like agreed was wrong, like that's got to be.
But that's the lost
Yeah, I
mentality.
guess they have
which
to
is like
fix
if
it.
you don't explain stuff, like it's never going to be good.
They're not afraid to
They
kill
do
main
Halo
characters.
too.
They killed them all in Reach. So,
Sergeant Johnson in 3.
well, I'm saying they're not afraid to kill characters. So we could
Reach
see
is
deaths on
kind
Osiris.
of an exception, but I would say they're not afraid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
And Blue Team.
they backed off of the Reclaimer trilogy and said, "Oh, it's a saga now."
Ooh, you're getting at
So,
something I think is really interesting.
I don't think that this story, this arc that we're on, is going to go past Halo 6. I think they'll just clean this up as best they can in 6, and then I think we're looking at a possible reboot scenario for 7, or maybe like just other stories told in a AAA Halo way, whether it's maybe there is a real squad like blue team
That's-
origin, like go back in time. But I do think this timeline will not go past 6.
That's a really interesting thing. I was about to say, do you think that there's an opportunity for them to kind of go away from this like grand scale epic lore? You got to know all this type of history between all these different warring factions that spans thousands of years and do something smaller, not necessarily
need to.
with
Well, that's why
different
the ring.
characters, but something more stylistically akin to like ODST, where it's like boots on the. I hate saying.
Don't
said
you
boots on
say it? Don't you
hate
say
it.
it?
I'm
It's
sorry,
working. The
but
marketing for
I
Call of
know.
Duty is working.
Eric
said it.
Hirschberg just smiled.
Yes, he's falling
But
into my trap.
Gonna buy
In my
Call of Duty
defense,
WWII.
Boots on the ground is a good description of what ODST is relative to other Halos. So I get it.
What if you
Orbital
call
drop
it
shock.
Men in the City?
Yeah. Man in the City.
Men in the City.
Jazzy soundtrack.
Well, yeah, I mean the ring hint. Yeah, I think they could bring in a little more centered.
Like, what if-
that's probably where the encounter is
What if
going to
that
take
whole
place?
yeah? What if that whole game happens on the ring like the first Halo did?
There'll be stuff in
Well,
space. Like you'll get to the ring by like level 3 probably. something
5
like
and
that.
6 were planned as a trilogy originally. So what does that mean for writing when it comes to 6? Like I assume that they have written as 5 is right now. There was a 6 that directly follows 5, and now that's going to change.
There's always rewrites though. You know,
Yeah.
like in
I
feel
Hollywood,
like
it
it's gotta
happens
be
all the
dramatic,
time.
right?
It's going to have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, because
mean-
in theory, it wouldn't have been entirely Chief, because the quotes we have here makes it sound like, okay, everyone really wants Chief. We're going to put more Chief in it, so they have to adjust the story for that.
You were thinking like 6 might have been way more Locke focused
Yeah.
originally,
Yeah.
and then they just have to scrap all that.
Because remember when
potentially.
five came out and Locke was the playable character in 80% of the game.
Yeah.
80% of the missions. We all thought maybe they are moving to
We thought they might kill
off Chief in 6 and just move on. And now clearly, if that was the plan, it's
now.
no longer the plan anymore.
Maybe they were like, "How much do you guys like this new character?" No,
Again,
more Chief, please.
could have been really cool
But I mean, I
if
would.
he was more Commander Shepard and less.
Sean, you're a huge film buff. You love movies. You love making them. You love watching them. I'm going to make a movie comparison here.
Yeah.
For me, Halo is getting to the point where it is. Let's see. How do I want to? Maybe I should back up. I'm at the point personally where my favorite superhero movies, because there are so many, are the smaller scale personal ones.
Totally.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Going back. Yeah, I haven't seen Doctor Strange yet, but
it's pretty
like Ant-Man and
First Iron Man.
Batman Begins, Dark Knight, or early Iron Man, Logan, great example.
Logan's like the last film too, and it's probably the best Wolverine.
Whereas I went and saw both Avengers movies, and I'll go see Avengers 3 and 4, but those have both been just filler to me. I go into the theater, they go into my eyes, and it's like, oh, that was fun, and then I never think about or want to see those movies again.
agree.
Whereas the smaller, more personal superhero movies are the ones that stick with me more, like Logan, like Ant-Man.
Even Winter Soldier, I really liked.
Yeah, and I think Halo's reaching that point. You know, Frank's kind of maybe even inadvertently hinting at it with he's saying, "Oh, Master Chief's become so important to people," and that's true. But I think the Halo series has, if you compare it to the MCU, I know that sounds crazy and dumb, but
But for Microsoft, that is what it is.
yeah, and it's getting to the point where every Halo game, the Halo games are Avengers movies, and I think that after 6, whatever 6 ends up being, and I hope it gets back to being a great campaign. I think after 6, I would love to see Halo, the mainline Halo games, or really any Halo games, go back to being the more personal stories, that they can still be AAA blockbuster things. Ant-Man made a ton of money. Logan, huge.
Yeah.
They can still be AAA, big budget, and highly successful films, but
Smaller scale story.
yes, that's what I want from Halo.
Not everything has to have 8 people, 8 main characters that all have to be balanced.
I've said it many, many times, and it's my perspective and my opinion only because I am, like you said, I'm a film guy. Like, I put story above everything else in games and in movies, minus some games that are specifically about gameplay. Like, there's no
Overwatch.
Yeah, or like Counter-Strike. There's no story in Counter-Strike. Stop the terrorists. Or if you're the terrorist, like destroy.
It's very
detonate
compelling.
them all. Yeah, but like it's a gameplay thing, right? But in Halo, like there's this legacy of it being a great story and of it being like this awesome universe and these epic conflicts that are grounded in a sense of personal stakes, right? Like the first Halo game, even the first 2 and 3, the first trilogy, let's call it, is very much a story of humanity is on the brink of destruction. You personally, Master Chief, are the only person who can stop it. Like that's very personal. The scale is huge, but it's a story about a single person, really, in Cortana and the cast of characters who have to deal with the conflict. If it gets back to that, it can be this big AAA Avengers franchise, but it needs the core emotional core to draw people into that universe to want to stay in there long enough to for it to really pay off, I think.
Absolutely. And then I guess the final point I would make on Halo is, because a few people were tweeting me about this. I think we might have mentioned it on a recent show, but I can't remember anything before vacation.
Yeah.
Flush my brain.
Good.
Yeah. But I do think we'll get a teaser for 6, a cinematic CG teaser
At E3?
At E3 this year.
Oh, man, I would love it.
I think we'll get some kind of hint at it. This is such a big
the Halo
E3.
5 one was so good.
Are you talking about the poncho?
Let's not go.
Why does Chief?
Let's not go back to this again.
He's wearing
for
his
the
armor.
last time. But yeah, I do think this is such a big
He's in
E3
disguise.
for Microsoft.
Dramatic effect.
You know, the world will be watching for Scorpio, and this is Microsoft's biggest E3 and most important E3 probably ever. I mean, I think that's fair to say that. You know, the Xbox One's been doing great, and people are excited about Scorpio. There's a lot riding on this E3, so I can't see an E3 of this magnitude and importance going by without a major Halo 6 teaser of some kind. So now I want to move to one of the other biggest first-person shooter franchises in the world, and that is Call of Duty. The leaks, the rumors were true. Call of Duty World War II was announced this week. And our own Marty. Oh my God, Sean, you just morphed into Marty.
Don't worry, I'm not going to say boots on the ground.
How did you do that?
You already did.
That doesn't count.
How did you
Take
do
us back to the roots,
Best friends,
Marty.
boots on the ground.
Marty's back.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
You got to go down to Sledgehammer because fortunately they're local. They're a 20-minute car ride from
It's an
here.
$80 cab ride.
Somebody went during rush hour.
That was
Don't worry, that's the company's money. That's not my. That's not my money.
that's-
That's fine.
Thanks, Uncle Ziff.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty World War II is announced. Marty, you went and saw the game. We are back in World War II. We've all seen the trailer by now, but Marty, you actually got to see some chunks of missions.
Yeah, 2 of
I
them.
really, really want to hear about this because the initial vibe, we're coming in here and recording Unlocked about an hour or so, 2 hours after the reveal, and so all the hot takes are out there right now, and everybody seems pretty positive on it, myself included. My first impression from just watching the trailer, and so that's why I'm eager to hear from you, Marty, is it really reminded me of the first 2 games. And I mean that in a good way, not in a like, oh, they're just doing the same thing again, but in a, oh, that's what, like that, just a
That's what they wanted to
not
do.
nostalgia, but just a.
But it's been
this is
so
what Call of-
long since
like
then.
just
Like-
a good. I don't know. It just gave me a good feeling. Like this feels like a
This is what
good
Call of
direction.
Duty is?
Yes.
Yeah. It's funny because that's what Call of Duty was originally. We haven't had a World War II game in 9 years since World at War, and obviously Modern Warfare sort of changed everything, not just for Call of Duty, but for shooters in general. But yeah, I'm personally super excited that they spoke at lengths about how they don't want to tell the story of a superhero, which is what you've been in the last couple of games. You have been able to wall run, and you've been
Hold on,
able
I
to
just
double
got shot
jump.
16 times. I'm good.
Yeah, here's my nano machines.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but they want to tell a story of a 19-year-old kid from Texas who had his first gun tossed in his chest a couple weeks ago, and
Get it out.
yeah, right. It's just it's all in there in between the
It's like an
ribs.
alien crossover.
Yeah, it's like a little bit. It's like a
Like
Cronenberg.
face huggers involved.
Yeah. So they showed me some weird missions. But they want to tell like a really sort of personal, intimate story. They said they didn't want to do a greatest hits of World War II, so it's very much centered on this one squad making their way through France, through the liberation of Paris, into Germany. They didn't want to tell a story of the Pacific and of Northern Africa and of Italy and of Russia.
Was that an outright confirmation or just sort of a hint that we're not going to go back to the old swapping perspectives?
We're definitely not. 95% of the game you are playing as Red Daniels. And the other 5, what they said about it was, we never want you doing something this kid couldn't do. So I imagine if there's a level where you're flying a plane, you are jumping the perspective of a pilot. Because this kid had never had pilot training. So I imagine that's going to be some sort of
Kid would be in the back of the
vehicular
plane,
or
right?
mechanical thing
Yeah.
where that's what you'll be playing.
And I
as.
guess that also draws a bit of a line in the sand too, of just differentiating from Battlefield 1,
Yeah,
which
totally.
was a series of these little
the vignettes, yeah, which I loved, yeah.
and it worked great for Battlefield, but this will not be that. It will-
Yeah, no. And
Red Daniels is his name?
Red is his
from
nickname.
Texas.
Red is his nickname. And it was named after Glenn Schofield, the co-founder of the studio's
Sledgehammer,
dad, who passed away during the development of the game. So they sort of gave him that nickname as like a. That's
awesome.
Yeah, so it was cool. Yeah, but I really like the fact. I mean, you mentioned the sort of bullet sponge, let me heal thing. The whole thing is there's no regeneration in this game, and so when you
hold on, seriously, stop.
There's no heal. There's no auto regen, which has been pretty much a standard since Halo.
No, I think. Well, wait, did the first Call of Duty have it, or was I feel like?
What about your shield?
Was
you
it-
picked up health packs, right?
Yeah, wasn't it? I think that was introduced in 2. Man, I got to go back and check now.
A long time. Yeah.
In any case, I mean, that has been an absolute staple of the series, which, as you mentioned, has bled over into every other game.
Yeah, totally.
Was it bandages? Do you guys?
No, it's you find your medic. You have to limp over to your medic, and your medic
cool.
heals you. The same thing they said with ammo is ammo's a scarcity, and you need to find someone else on your squad to toss you ammo when you run out. Which, again, these were all things I heard about these things in sort of theory and in ideas, and in the missions I saw, they were very like small snippets. And so I saw the Normandy mission where your boat sort of capsizes, you're in the bloody water, and then he makes a dash for the hedgehogs, the big iron bars at the beach. And the moment I knew that like they weren't completely blowing smoke up my ass is when, instead of like you hit the slide button, and instead of doing like a power slide into cover, the kid just dives head first into the sand and covers his head. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, that's what a 19-year-old kid would do in the most harrowing moment possible.
Superheroes slide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, human beings cover their ass. But yeah, and then seeing like later levels, we saw the Hurtgen Forest, which was this really cool level where you're going through this forest that's on the sort of the boundary between Germany and Bulgaria, and it's just absolutely beautiful forest, these lush greens, these like surreal mists. You hear the creek, you hear the animals, and it's just like
that's awesome.
a moment of like serene calm. And then the German artillery fire comes in, and the hell that ensued from the just destruction of the trees, the splintering of the wood, the fact that these giant things are coming down and impaling people and just completely smashing them.
Like the scene in Band of Brothers, right?
Yeah, but also it reminded me of Sledgehammer's visceral roots, Visceral, the actual company that made Dead Space, because some of the stuff in this game felt like horror. Like it seems like instead of making war a cool thing, they're trying to make it a horrifying thing, which is what World War II was.
Should be.
Yeah. Seems cool. The story seems cool. I don't think there's not going to be a bad guy in this game. You know, this isn't.
You're not Kevin Spacey.
You're not going to have
Adolf
Kevin
Hitler.
Spacey with a weird mustache. Yeah. It seems like the tension is going to come from your sergeant and your lieutenant, one of whom is very much, we need to finish the mission by any means necessary, even if it means none of you come home. And the other one is, wait, I need to bring all these kids home back to their mom. So like that sort of, and in a thing like World War II, I don't know if either of them are wrong.
Yeah.
You know, in this sort of conflict. So, yeah, I mean, again, a lot of these were explained to me, and I'm cautiously optimistic about the game. Like, that being said, they also want to deal with like really topical issues of the time and even of now, of anti-Semitism and racism and sexism. And, you know, you come across an African-American platoon and there's some animosity between certain members of your squad because it's 1944. And again, and they showed the cast of characters that included women and people of color and children and the elderly. And I'm like, all of this is amazing on paper. I'm still a bit skeptical because the two primary verbs of this game are point and shoot.
Yeah.
It's on the ground.
I'm never going to say that. I mean, I said it that one time, but I'm never going to say it again.
Definitely
Yeah. B's on the G. What if you start saying B's on the G?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. No, and then we got the small tease at multiplayer. The game's coming out November 3rd. We're going to see a lot more of multiplayer at E3.
And there will be
beta or
what they're calling
private beta.
private beta, which is of course, so Activision and Sony have the marketing partnership. That beta's first on PS4, at least according to those leaked.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not official, but it was on that leaked stuff. That's all been true.
And I imagine
otherwise.
we're going to see this on stage at Sony.
On Sony's stage. I was just going to say the same thing. If you do really well in the private beta, you get promoted to lieutenant beta.
That's cool.
I had to. That
was a really good one.
Like, come on, it's really not like closed beta or multiplayer. Private beta in a World War II game.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Come on, you guys.
I'm a big fan of that.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, and then one of the cool things for multiplayer is they announced a thing called Headquarters, which reminded me a lot of the Tower in Destiny. It's a social space that
Destin just went.
They showed like a really brief snippet of it,
which
right, during the
it
live
included
stream.
a lot more players than the Tower has, right? Like this thing included like 40-ish players.
Yeah, so I was looking. It looks like the tower has about 16 max.
Yeah.
So that space looked like it had 32.
Yeah,
I'm just guesstimating based on the number
I think
of names.
CJ counted at least 40.
Okay.
At least that's what the voice in my ear
Wow.
said.
I want to draw one other parallel to Call of Duty 2, which, I mean, Call of Duty was a huge success. 2 took it to a new level, and then 4 again after that did. But 2 took things to a new level.
It was a smoke
not only
physics.
because it was a great game, but because it was a launch title for the Xbox 360, the first HD console, and all the smoke effects, and it was
game was
a
awesome
great
to
game
play
that
at
was
launch.
also just it was stunning at the time. And now here we go, history maybe hopefully repeating itself. You've got Call of Duty going back to World War II, and this should look mighty damn good on the Scorpio.
Stuff we saw looked fantastic.
Yeah, and like I saw the only sort of in-gamey stuff we saw were those brief snippets in the trailer, but I saw 2 full missions being played, and the game looks incredible. I mean, it's one of the best-looking video games I've ever seen. And
I mean,
we're
and
still
of
6
course,
months from launch.
Yeah, they're always showing that stuff. Almost always showing that stuff on a
Like a NORAD PC.
Yeah, that could put a man to
4K
Mars.
HDR TV.
But Scorpio's going to have plenty of power in the box. So.
Yeah, I'm excited. I also keep getting excited when more and more people are putting their flags in the sand for fall, so that we know this is November 3rd. A couple weeks later, we're going to get Battlefront. 2 months earlier, we're going to get Destiny and Marvel vs. Capcom. October is still the wild card month.
It also, just a final note on the Scorpio side of it, it makes it really interesting to think about like Scorpio's release date in the context of games. Now, I know Scorpio is a big picture, multi-year project for Microsoft, and this fall is just this fall, despite all the big games that you mentioned. But if Microsoft's big play is to try and win hardcore players back with the Scorpio by virtue of having it be the best place to play third-party games, which the Xbox One arguably is generally not compared to the PS4, or certainly now the PS4 Pro, whether it's just 900p versus 1080 or whatever, mostly little things. But if Microsoft's play with Scorpio is to win the hardcore back by saying all the third-party games are going to look best, run best, be best on our platform.
If they come out before those games.
Yeah. If where the Scorpio launch date falls kind of matters in the short term this fall. Of what if Scorpio what if the release date for Scorpio is November 20th? Right up to the last minute before Black Friday. I know people are going to tweet me saying, "Oh, well, remember Phil had said on Twitter that it was like ahead of schedule." So
all speculation.
We don't know what that means. But just like it makes me think well, do they try and get Scorpio out in September?
I mean,
this is crazy, but I think you're right on the money, because I think it'll launch ahead of Destiny 2, because they want to bring in that player base. September 8th.
I would take an in-and-out bet on that. I don't think there's any way
I don't want to bet. I'm just thinking strategically.
I don't want to bet $5. Come on.
Strategically, that would be a really, really smart time to launch that console. It's your first one. It's your first major game that a lot of people want to play on your platform, and then you got Call of Duty right around the corner.
Now, I mean, I know that, of course, you can just play if Destiny 2 comes out, you could just wait and play it on
Xbox One.
and
Yeah.
then
Play it on One
on
S.
It's not like you need to buy a different copy of the game.
And I know that, but
That's true.
so there's nothing, but I do think there is a psychological thing that'll happen there with people where if the console is out ahead of many of the big third-party titles this fall, that almost certainly would play into Microsoft's favor. Whereas,
especially for Red Dead 2, if that ends up coming out, we get a release date. That's a game that I expect that I'm going to spend a lot of time in. It's open world, so it's very big. I'm going to want that game to look as pretty as possible.
especially when that's another game, Red Dead 2, Call of Duty, and Destiny 2,
And Battlefront.
and
That's
Battlefront
right.
all have the marketing deal with Sony.
Yeah.
And which just means that they're going to be pushed in the Sony direction. So the best way for Microsoft to push back is to have
better.
Hey, it
Scorpio
looks better
available.
here. Yeah.
Is to have it out and say, "Oh, well, I know it says PlayStation at the end of the TV commercial, but
gotta
hey,
use
guess
some weird
what?
voices.
It looks and runs better on our box." So I do think that it really makes the release date of Scorpio matter, even though we're only talking about one fall season in the grand scheme of Scorpio's life.
So Microsoft's probably thinking bigger picture than that, though. Like, yes,
they should be.
we're all looking at the September, October, November window, but they're just like, this is our console for the next 5 years. We want to make sure that we launch it when it's ready and that it's optimized to the best of our ability. Their ability.
Who knows how manufacturing is going? If there's one little hiccup with a circuit board, a motherboard component that could delay.
You don't want
things.
the red ring thing again.
Right, that could delay things by a couple weeks. But I'm with the way this fall is shaping up, I'm extra curious where Scorpio's release date is going to
any world where they would launch in late August?
I don't see it.
So, like, what's their window? What do you think is their optimal window? November? Second week in November?
No. Early to mid-October.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it's also a certain thing where, like, if you launch too late, people have already spent $60 several times over on these giant games, and you're like, well, I already spent $200, $300 on games this fall. I don't have another $400 or $500.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's going to be real interesting to learn more.
I mean, we'll get the date at E3. We know that. So maybe that can help people plan those purchases and that they're budgeting.
But you're going to do a Saturn? It's out now?
No.
That went so well for Sega.
Great.
When that's why everyone's done it with every console.
And it's releasing July 31st.
I don't even think there's 31 days in July. That's a myth.
Okay, so next up, this might be my favorite story this week, just because it's out of nowhere and it taps into my love of this game and also it right into my childhood with I had like a big hope chest full of Matchbox and Hot Wheels toy cars when I was a kid. So Forza Horizon 3 is getting a Hot Wheels expansion. Alana, were you Hot Wheels?
I have tons of Matchbox cars and Hot Wheels cars, and I still have them.
Yeah, how cool is this?
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
This is from the IGN article describing this. Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels takes players to 6 new themed islands located off the coast of Australia, meaning it's just like, hey, we can do whatever we want with these and not break the rest of the game. All connected by a network of Hot Wheels tracks. Positioned hundreds of feet in the air, featuring classic Hot Wheels configurations like loops, corkscrews, and more. And they're orange, by the way, just like they were as the toys.
That's awesome.
This is stunt driving at its most extreme, where you can master tracks by performing brand new Hot Wheels skills that make use of boost pads, high bank turns, half pipes, insane jumps, and even giant mechanical dinosaurs. If you're looking to get creative, check out the new stunt swap feature to modify stunt track sections and dare your friends to try them. How does this game keep getting more awesome?
It's like putting trials in Forza.
Yeah, or this seems like something that should be in GTA Online.
They did it in GTA Online.
It just came out for GTA Online. But
Wait, really?
Yeah.
like
not a Hot Wheels
literal
themed
Hot.
one,
Okay,
but like
but
much the same thing.
Stunts, yes.
same type thing.
Yeah. It was really cool.
Explore the world of Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels in an all-new campaign, completing events on your way towards the ultimate stunt driving test, an epic grand finale taking place on the massive new Hot Wheels Goliath circuit. Hook up with your buddies and compete in online multiplayer, blah, blah, blah. 28 new achievements worth 500 gamer score, 10 new cars, including several Hot Wheels world-famous vehicles. So they're going to render out the toys into life size in the game. And as well as a brand new barn find just waiting to be discovered and restored.
That's so awesome.
This reminds me of Rush on Nintendo 64. Do you remember you could have those big maps where you could just do a bunch of tricks and everything? I love stuff like that when you take a arcade racer or a realistic racer like Forza sort of is. Well, this one is sort of the
Even
mix,
more.
right? Oh, even more so.
Oh, well, no, the Hot Wheels thing is just straight arcade.
Silly fun.
Straight arcade.
Anyway, my point is I love stuff like this where they're not afraid to have a little bit of fun with their franchise.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Lana, you've been to Australia. Have you ever been to any of these 6 themed islands?
Yeah, so all of the islands around Australia are actually connected by orange Hot Wheels tracks.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so this
Really?
is also
Is that what the
factually
coral
correct.
reef is?
Yeah.
37 people die a day in the corkscrew, but you know what? Hey, that's just Darwinism.
Are they off the coast
yes.
of Bondi Beach?
Yeah, you said it right.
Did I?
You
I
usually
meant to say it wrong.
Bondi, and then I got really mad. Yeah, no, it's Bondi Beach. This is awesome. Also, 500 gamer score. That's pretty great.
And if you have the the season pass, the expansion pass thing. This is just part of it. Otherwise, I didn't write down the price, but I'm presuming it'll probably be like $10. That's what usually these things go for. But it's like this was probably the best exclusive Xbox game last year, and like 6-7 months later, it just still keeps getting better.
Cool.
Yeah.
Playground Games.
Doing good.
Yeah, they did a great job.
We're not worthy.
If you haven't played it, please play it.
Oh my
It's very
goodness,
good.
it's so good. A couple more quick things because I know we're running along on time here. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Destin,
Yes, sir.
I love fighting games.
I was looking for the price. $19.99.
Oh, 20. Okay,
Yeah.
well, it sounds like you get a hell of a lot of content
Yeah.
for $20. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. People have been
Capcom
waiting
presents
for this
Marvel
for a long time. It's out September 19th, so another flag in the ground for the
They're
fall.
going to take us for a ride. That's another reference to Marvel vs. Capcom. Okay.
I was clapping into the table if the microphone didn't pick it up. I wasn't doing anything weird. I'm going to put my hands up here now.
Marty's just waving his arms furiously under the table. What could he possibly be
I don't
doing?
know where to put them.
So they've had some new stuff lately. That we just had a new story trailer where it looks like you are not fighting your team members. You're actually going to fight a bunch of Ultron Sigmas. It was really cool to see Sigma from Mega Man X show up in the Marvel vs. Capcom universe. So the only thing is, I don't really know what to think about this game right now. I don't know if it's the marketing or what, but I haven't seen enough to get really hyped. Like, I remember the launch trailer. I was like, oh, that looks really cool. And then they just went pretty quiet. I think they just went
I think it's
silent
totally
for a long
fair.
time.
They haven't told us a whole lot.
Yeah. And then they show us this this sort of interesting story trailer. I love Marvel vs. Capcom, but like everybody wants Wolverine and Magneto, and they're probably not going to get those characters. So a lot of the fan favorites aren't going to be appearing. So
I think they're going to get those characters. I think just Marvel is very smart with their marketing, and they're putting the things they make all the money on, foot forward, like Rocket and Miss Marvel. And
Right, so to
the
try and
Avengers.
grab people who haven't necessarily played these games before but love Marvel.
well, the rumor is no Wolverine, no Magneto, but we'll see.
I don't think there's a world where that doesn't happen personally.
Because of the weird licensing with what Fox and
Exactly. It's
Movie
the
Side
weird
and all that
licensing stuff.
So the theory has been that they are solely going to or focus on putting Marvel characters in that are currently in the movies or have movies coming out. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's not true, and we do get our traditional roster. But this one's coming out September 19th. We got the release date now. We know it's coming also in September. I'm still going to play it. I don't really know what else to say. I wish I could be more excited, but I'm just not.
I'm
not
super
there right
excited, but not for any actual reason. Like I'm super excited because it's another Marvel vs. Capcom game, and I've loved every single one of them. There's not been a MVC that I haven't enjoyed.
now. Did you like Tatsunoko versus Capcom? That one was pretty dope.
I haven't played that.
So that was on Wii, and I think it was the first one to introduce like the 3-button thing that they started doing with MVC3, and it was really, really fun. You could actually be the like the tank version from Lost Planet, but it would take up 2 character slots, and that was my favorite one.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
I think
really
it's
fun.
also cool that this game was announced at PSX in December and is out in September. So that's a 9-month turnaround. Like more of that, please.
Take it.
I'm also worried because Street Fighter V kind of launched on rocky ground. I believe it's stabilized now.
I hope that they've learned from that, basically. I would hope.
Exactly. I'm hoping they learn from that and we don't run into the same problem.
'cause
But I'm a
Capcom-
little more cautious now.
I feel like Capcom is one of those companies where everyone will come on here and we'll scold them, and then all of a sudden they'll release Resident Evil 7 or Disney Afternoon Collection. We'll come on here and be like, "You did good, Capcom."
Yeah.
Capcom.
Good job, Capcom.
Yeah, this is just one of those franchises that I'm going to buy no matter what every time that it comes out. So, I have faith. I really love the speed of MVC. That's one of the things, like we've spoken about you liking Injustice. I always find it slightly too slow because most of my fighting game experience has been in MVC. So it's like even with Street Fighter, it's like all these fighting games have been coming out and I've just been waiting for a new Marvel vs. Capcom.
The pacing of this is definitely different. I love the aerial combat too, and how you can like
Aerial
combo
combos.
up and around and
People are bad at that game.
Yeah.
You can finish fights just with aerial combos, like
Yeah,
swapping
just keep 'em
characters
in the
and
air.
They never do anything. They just never.
because they
hit
don't
you
know
back.
how to
It's
counter.
incredible.
Yeah, it's great.
Would you die, or would you buy the game if Amaterasu died in the opening cutscene?
Yeah, but I'd probably cry a bunch. I hope Amaterasu in it. It's
Shout
like
out to Okami.
she was basically, she was like my cheat character in 3 because you could just spam and she's really low. So you could just destroy people with her.
She was a really good character.
Yeah, she was
actually, in
great.
3.
Also, her like ultra ability was freaking awesome. Like, I hope she's in it again. I
glad-
wonder if we'll have someone from Resident Evil.
I was glad to see Hulk.
We already
I
know.
love Hulk.
Yeah, we already
Chris
know.
Redfield.
Chris
Yeah.
Redfield's in that trailer. Alongside, the one confirmed so far: Ultron, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, Rocket, Chun-Li, Strider, Hero. How do you say that? Hiryu.
I think you got it right.
Strider here.
And Chris Redfield.
Yeah, I believe the new reveals were Chris, Strider, Rocket, no, Thor.
Yeah,
and
but I
Hulk.
mean, if we'd get like Jack
Ultron.
from Resident Evil 7.
What if we get a Mudman from the basement Mudman?
Oh no, please, none of them.
Bunch of bugs.
No.
Wait. No.
Also,
You're missing Iron Man, dude.
No,
Well, this was from their press release.
Iron Man passed away in the game. Him and Amrata
So
Rossi
Iron
died in
Man's
that
in
car
there.
crash.
Mega Man X is in there. We don't have all the characters.
Alana,
listed.
you
I just
got
wanna
an
confirm.
exclusive on the collector's edition, right?
Yeah, I mean, the collector's edition was announced yesterday, but we just got a bunch of exclusive photos this morning that'll be up on the site. It's just like sort of close-ups on all of the characters, and they're really gorgeous photos.
Yeah,
so.
like statues that come with it.
You.
So the things with these is that the collector's edition of this, even if it wasn't a collector's edition of a game, I would want it anyway. Like, these statues are so good that I think if you like those characters, it's worth getting them regardless of whether you usually see.
Statues look really good. My favorite's Iron Man. Which is yours? It's Iron Man,
Well,
Chun-Li.
Probably Chun-Li, but
Mega
the
Man
thing is
X,
I
and-
think that you can have all of them as a package.
Do they all come together?
it's
Or
They all come together. You get all four of them.
Nice.
So yeah, it looks awesome.
Cool. And then finally this week, Bandai Namco revealing a new game called Code Vein. An official release described it as, quote, a grueling action RPG that takes you on a journey across a massive interconnected world. It sounds super Dark Souls-y.
Yeah, I mean, the Dark Souls genre is now a grueling action RPG. Yeah, even the tagline before, while they were teasing it, was prepare to dine. If it's anime vampire Dark Souls, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Throw two words that don't belong together and then add Dark Souls at the end of it. and
Prepare
I'm
to
fine.
dine?
Yeah, because they're vampires and they dine on each other because vampires do a good neck
I
bite.
thought it was going to be a really weird Overcooked
That
sequel.
would've been good. Yeah, I could have handled that too. Yeah.
And this is an interesting play in that it's Bandai Namco who publishes Dark Souls, but Dark Souls seems to be done for now. So
Souls.
this is probably their attempt to keep that.
Keep that hype up.
What did we call it?
Grueling action RPG, boots on the ground adventure. Yeah.
No, you did it.
Broke your vow.
They got you, Marty.
Purpose, though. What did you do? Why are you doing that weird dog face?
You're helping them.
I don't think she approves.
What you doing? Are you all right? Stop it. Get us out of here.
That's a meme on the internet now. All right, let's move on to. By the way, I would love to tell you about Danger Zone, which is the spiritual successor to Burnout, being made by the original creators of Burnout, and it's out next month. It's not coming to Xbox though.
What?
PC and PS4. So
What the hell?
Is that the golf game?
No, their golf game was their first game.
was
This
their
is the
first
Burnout
game.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Danger Zone. It's just crash mode. It's not any of the, it's unfortunate that all the other great modes that Burnout, Road Rage and
Great.
Takedown and all that stuff, not in there. But it's just a bunch of crash junctions.
Great.
It's Unreal Engine 4.
If you get it right, it's awesome because crash
good, yeah.
mode is my favorite part of Burnout.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're not getting it on
Shame.
Xbox.
Yeah. So we
I have a PS4.
we know Phil listens, so maybe Phil. I'm sure Phil knows why, but I'm just voicing.
Unless,
my-
a month from now, if the game's good, Phil do something. If the game's bad, now we good.
I guess. Yeah.
So, let me
Yes,
guess.
but-
Steam. It's on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where
Are you on a war against Steam?
If it can come to Windows, it can come to Xbox. That's all I'm saying.
Dodge a wrench.
you wouldn't just put it on the Windows Store.
No, I know. I'm just.
Why not?
I'm
Ryan?
like,
Because no one's ever opened that window. That window's sealed shut by paint.
I'm just disappointed it's not coming to Xbox.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I talk about how much I love Burnout all the time, and this game finally gets formally announced because Alex Ward's been teasing it for a while, and here it is, and it's out in a month. No Xbox version.
It sucks.
Wait, that
Real
Switch
lame.
version too.
Oh,
Get to everything. What about my phone?
We're getting Mario Kart.
We're not getting
we
Mario Kart. Mario Kart is not coming to Xbox.
Switch.
I'm going to confirm that
Sorry.
right now. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe not
You
coming
said
to
Switch.
Xbox One.
Hey, Alana,
What's up?
what can we spend our money on this week?
This week on retail, we can get Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, Outlast Trinity for $40, and Lego Worlds for $30.
Is Outlast Trinity include Outlast 2?
Yeah, it's one whistleblower and two.
Thank you.
Lucy read our review that I think is up on the site now.
Yep, she liked it. It's
Yeah.
spooky.
Yeah. Digitally, we can get Little Nightmares for $35.
This is supposed to be real good. I've never heard of this until like getting back from vacation, and now people are talking about it.
Yeah, it's
looks
like a
really cool.
real messed up sort of Aesop's Fables kind of thing.
And a little like limbo-y, inside-y as far as the gameplay goes. So
check it
I
out.
want to check this out. We've got an 8.8 out of 10 on IGN.com.
I've heard that website's great. Yeah.
It's 8-point great.
Siberia 3 for $50. Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 4 for $5.
Which, once again, the episode 4 curse strikes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why does that keep happening to them?
Maybe they do it on purpose.
They probably shouldn't.
Well, I think it's that they probably spend a long time. Like Telltale would focus on episodes 1 and 2, and then episode 5, and then like 3 like manages to be good. 4, they're like,
So there's this really good.
Well, they're like, we need to fill all the gaps in
There's this really
and
good
get ready for
scene
5.
in, Planet Terror, which is one half of Grindhouse, that Tarantino Robert Rodriguez movie, where it's a zombie movie. They have the first act, and then right when they're getting ready for the second act, the film reel burns out. And then when it comes back together, it's just the third act of the movie. And they're referencing, like, man, I can't believe we got out of there. Totally, all episode 4 is at the end of episode 3 next time. And then at the beginning of episode 5, it's previously on. And just, there you go.
that sounds good.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Storytelling.
Outlast 2 is $30. Halo Wars Definitive Edition is $20. City Skylines is $40.
It's supposed to be really good.
It's a very good
That
game.
game's awesome. I'm curious to see how it plays on controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Farming Simulator 15 Complete Edition is $50. Valhalla
that
Hills.
DLC, son.
Was that 15?
those
The year
extra
15? Like 2015? It's truly complete now. It's several years after
Hey,
2015.
It's the 15th.
You know what? I don't actually know. I think it's the 15th game.
Wow. A farming simulator for newcomers and fans of the series
Yeah,
alike.
yeah. If you like farms, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
$50
I like simulators.
of farms.
No, just general.
Okay. Valhalla Hills Definitive Edition is $40.
I was trying to think of a good John Deere pun joke, but I couldn't do it.
When I was a crappy teenager, I wore this John Deere shirt all the time because I thought it was cool that I was wearing a shirt of a tractor brand. And I just remembered that the other day because I saw someone else wearing that shirt. It was also a girl who
crappy
was like
teen?
15. I was like, what?
What was I thinking?
Explain to me what I was thinking.
I like the idea that you come up to her, you like shake her, and you're like, so many bad things are
Check
going to
out
happen to
my
you.
sweet John Deere shirt. Like, why did I don't know.
Alana, you have to come back with me. What? Did I screw something up? It's not you, Alana. It's your kids.
Anyway, Race the Sun is $10 and Deformers is $30.
I want to jump back to the Halo Wars Definitive Edition for $20. Wouldn't it be a better value to buy Halo 2, the like edition that comes with the
If it's been discounted by now, then yes. But if you maybe just bought the vanilla Halo Wars 2,
pick this up for
flavor.
20. Man, I really liked Halo Wars 2, but I want more.
In a
And
Neapolitan
I got the
ice cream,
base
no one
edition.
wants strawberry in there.
No, you're right.
Fools.
No one wants that. Just the
Yeah.
vanilla and the chocolate.
You're absolutely right.
Right?
I like strawberry.
You have a daughter, though.
What?
How about your daughter? How does she feel about strawberry?
That's not a girl thing. What? Don't be sexist.
Just mean like a young kid.
Why would I feed her horrible ice cream?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
She gets,
I wouldn't let my
the vanilla or the
kids-
chocolate.
Why'd you put
Strawberry either.
why'd you put a bunch of strawberry ice cream in your hair then?
She doesn't get a lot of options.
Marketplace, April Games with Gold. We have Rise, Son of Rome.
Running out of time, folks.
April 1 to 30 on Xbox One. Walking Dead Season 2, April 16 to May 15 on Xbox One. Darksiders, you should absolutely get that.
Well, you can't.
It's over.
April 1. Damn it, you can't. April 1 to 15. No! Get it anyway. Assassin's Creed Revelations, April 16 to 30 on Xbox 360. And May's Games with Gold are going to be Guyana Sisters Twisted Dreams Director's
I
Cut.
did not know how to say that.
Isn't this good, Marty? Didn't you speak
Yeah, it's
well
pretty
of
good.
this?
It's a sort of it started off as a Mario clone, but it's a pretty solid, colorful.
I feel like it got 7s.
Yeah, it sounds right.
I totally would have said Gianna.
It is the Gianna sisters.
Oh, is it? I just said Guyana.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I thought she said it right.
no.
I'm an idiot.
It doesn't matter. We're all idiots.
The way I've heard it. I don't
That's
know.
our secret.
That is the whole month of May on Xbox One. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, which I actually really enjoyed. May 16 to June 15 on
It's
Xbox
the
One.
sort of top-down.
Co-op.
Yeah. It's like a puzzle game, yeah. Star Wars The Force Unleashed to May 1 to 15, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. And Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga on May 16 to May 31st on Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
That Star Wars hype.
I don't like Force Unleashed 2 very much.
Yeah,
Lego Star Wars,
think a lot
though,
of people
hell
didn't.
yeah.
I'd be curious
They
to go
did
back
Force
to
Unleashed 1, which was great a while
Yes,
back, I
and then it
think.
was 2, like quite a few people didn't like.
I'd be curious to go back to Lego Star Wars because that's like OG Lego games. And
See
if
how
you
much
ask
the
me-
environments have changed would be
Yeah.
fascinating because they're
I'm such
so
a nerd
full of
about
stuff
1.
now that you
I made a DVD of the story.
really.
I liked Force Unleashed 1 a lot.
It really makes sense that you have the job that you have here. That really worked out.
All right. Unlock block trivia. Now that I'm back, we can play again. We've got Destin in the lead at 5 points.
Yeah.
2017. Marty right behind at 4 points. Alana right in the mix as well, 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Chris Brody from Nova Scotia in Canada, whose gamer tag, if you'd like to add him on Xbox Live, is C Brody, but it's CBR0DIE. So CBR
Zero die? What does it mean?
Eternal.
Chris!
Anyway, he asks a question that actually, this one stumped me. I would not have gotten this. What game got the first ever console patch on an Xbox platform? So it done got patched via Xbox Live.
I have picked my answer.
Unreal Championship, Mech Assault, Madden NFL 2002, or Halo 1. I didn't bring a pen in, so I guess
I've chosen.
Ron
I'm not going to change it.
Destin? Go ahead then.
I was going to say Madden.
Madden.
C.
Alana?
I was also going to say Madden, but it's between that and Unreal Championship. I'm going to go C.
I was also going to say Madden, but I don't like this whole thing of agreeing with you guys, so I'm going to say Mech Assault because they spelled it wrong in the initial one, and it was one S, and they had to patch in the second S. So not only did I give my answer, but I gave a reason why. I showed my work.
Good.
Did somebody get it?
I was really hoping that you were going to stick with Unreal Championship. Nobody gets anything. It was Unreal
Unreal, huh?
Championship, yeah.
I always go with Madden because it released on both platforms. So
Yeah, I mean,
Kind of makes sense that a sports game would update its roster with some weird tweak.
What I
except
figured.
EA didn't come to Xbox Live till later. Remember, guys?
rip.
Oh, NFL Fever, I mean.
Part of
Well,
the
and-
chief voice slipping in? It was later.
I'm like Halo. That's
Sean's
too
chief
obvious.
voice. What the interesting fact about Unreal Championship, it was a straight port of Unreal Tournament 2003 or no, not 4. The first Unreal Tournament, I think. First or second one from PC. I'm sorry, I know you're zoning.
No. Where's it?
No, but no, and then there was Unreal Championship 2, which was a totally original third-person action game for Xbox that had a couple of Mortal Kombat characters in it. As
I don't remember this.
What?
Yeah.
Well, just look it up. It was just it was just weird that they rebranded it. They ported an Unreal Tournament game and rebranded it for Xbox, and then they made a sequel that was just a totally new thing, and it was third person. It was a fun game. It was good. Didn't super take off, but
Yeah.
good times.
Interesting.
That's actually, I remember, I think I met Rod Ferguson back in those days.
When he was working at Epic.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
All right. Let's leave because we've been here too long. I've had diarrhea of the mouth this
Really glad that was the
that up.
best
Yeah.
well placed of the mouth. Okay, yep.
done a lot of yapping.
Was it the best placed mouth?
Best placed mouth.
It was all just stored up on vacation.
Well, glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Sorry about your diarrhea.
Well, I got it out. It's done. You guys are my
Congrats.
Pepto-Bismol,
Oh.
I guess. I drank you, and you have cleansed me. Just in straight face, like, please get me out of here.
Help.
IGN.com/Prime. If you'd like to give us $30, we'll give you a year of ad-free access to IGN as well as some beta access and occasional free game. If that is a way you'd like to support us and enhance your IGN consumption experience. You can find me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. The Peter Molyneux interview, Unfiltered, is wrapped up. We've been serializing them, releasing them in parts. So all 4 parts are now on YouTube or IGN, and the just full, not split up into parts, audio version should be up on iTunes. If not by the time you hear this, then like this week. For sure. It's like 2 hours because Peter does love to talk, and he doesn't talk to the press much anymore. So he had a lot to say. He shared a ton of amazing stories. So
Personal stuff too. Yeah.
yeah, I would really encourage everybody to take a listen to that. Good Fable stories, good Lionhead stories. Connect. He talks some Trizash about Connect. If you know what I'm saying.
That's what happens when you go on holidays. You come back and you're like, Trizash.
Yeah. He went to the Big Island, yo.
All right. So that's the thing I want to plug. Alana?
I'm working on next month's IGN First right now. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but we will have our first post up about that early next week, so keep an eye out for it. It's super exciting.
It's Batman?
Yeah, it's Batman.
Cool.
Yeah. Batman, the game. That's it. They've never made one before. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. And I also, if you didn't already catch it, I wrote a preview of Star Wars Battlefront 2 after interviewing the developers at Celebration. So totally check that out. I'm pretty excited about that game.
Marty?
What do I do here? Oh, by the time this is up, my review of What Remains of Edith Finch is up. That is not on Xbox, but it's on PC and PS4. It's a incredible magical realism walking simulator in the vein of Gone Home and Firewatch that is equally as good as those video
You
games.
are speaking my language
opinion.
right now.
And it's like a hot 95 minutes. Great.
Also, you got a promotion.
I also got a promotion.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That means everything.
So Marty's an executive now?
Yeah.
So the fun thing to do is make fun of him for being an executive. You're like, oh, I'm going to go executive. Like as soon as like you guys went in here starting this, he's like, let me go be an executive about it. I'm like, all right, Marty. Yeah.
Did I say that?
You absolutely did.
I probably said that as a joke.
You did.
Sounds like
You got a promotion too.
Well, sort of.
I don't know. You have a different title. You make more money.
That's true. It's been
Sounds like a promotion.
It's been a good week.
that's pretty much the dictionary definition.
Well, I just swapped departments though. I was an associate editor. I'm now a video producer. So it's technically a promotion. Yep. All right.
We're going with it.
Nailed it.
You're in the
You guys want
production
to pat
list,
yourselves
so-
on the back anymore while we're here?
Ryan's also great.
I bought some new shirts.
Oh, I got a new apartment.
Yeah, she got a new apartment.
Oh, congrats.
Already spending
That's
the
awesome.
cash. Yeah, it's spending that video producer cash. Destin, what's going on in your life?
I don't know what camera to address, so I'll address the wide one. So this Thursday, April 27th, I'm going to be posting a bunch of Injustice 2 footage on IGN.com. They're messing with me in the back now. If you like Injustice 2, be sure to check it out. What else do I have going on? Doing a bunch of E3 planning. If you like Destiny, be sure to check out Fireteam Chat. You can check it on youtube.com/fireteamchat. I stream there regularly. I also stream on twitch.tv/the Destin channel. But if you like Destiny,
just about all that streaming.
if you like Destiny, Fireteam Chat is definitely the place to hit us up. We post Fireteam Chat every Friday at 5. And for Unlocked, if you like Unlocked, it actually helps us out a ton if you listen to the audio version, if you leave a review.
Yeah. Oh, and also if you subscribe to the podcast
Yes.
on the IGN Games channel, which is a feed
Where you get everything.
Where you get everything. We're
Stop doing that.
Shutting that down for a reason that's above our pay grade. And
You're an executive. You should know these things.
It turns out
Go
there's
executive that.
several levels. He's an executive too. He's been an executive for a lot longer than I have.
I'm just senior.
Just subscribe to the shows individually. So if that's where you get Unlocked and Beyond and MVC and Scoop, just subscribe individually. Easy peasy.
Also, check us out on youtube.com/IGN Unlocked.
You do that as well. Alana's going to
We
video
plug a lot
produce
of
some
stuff.
things.
I am. I will video produce multiple productions in video format.
Wait, now that you can do that, can we do the Duck Dynasty thing?
So excited
Yeah, I
about
can
that thing.
do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can actually make the Duck Dynasty thing happen now.
We're down to 4 listeners, so for everybody that's left, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you back here next week.